because currently we face so many challenges in Myanmar, and another pandemic is not something we want to add that long list, right? So and also the illegal wildlife trade has not gone away despite the political situation in Myanmar. Rather than it has gone further underground. And also WWF recent study on online illegal wildlife trade show a dramatic escalation, particularly among certain species, and we felt we had to take action on that. So so um, so this campaign is one of the various approaches we are taking.
Prior joining WWF as a head of wildlife in Myanmar program, I was employed by the Fauna and Flora International in the Myanmar program as a Tendai conservation program manager. Before that, I have a lot of conservation organization experience, and also like a both of Darida and Friends of Wildlife, and also the Patron and technical advisor in wildlife and ecosystem conservation action nationwide. So that is my history of the before joining the WWF. I joined WWF. That is the one of the wildlife focus organization, which is mainly to protect and conserve the species, especially in Myanmar. And also, as you can see in the campaign, a lot of the wildlife related issues. So that is my main reason why I ended up with the WWF. Thank you.
Yeah, we have our campaign plan and also the outreach plan, which include support from the selected key opinion leaders, KOL, and the private sector partner like Fiverr, and also the other companies and who are helping us to share the messages to to reach widely into the public. And we also hope that the campaign will resonate with the people of Myanmar, and they will want to share it with their friends and their family members.
Well, we in this case we will continue to raise awareness on the importance of protecting Myanmar natural species, so that our forests, rivers, and sky would not be empty. You know, the empty forest means so empty of wildlife, and that's another pandemic is not added to the existing list of challenging in Myanmar. We are working on the partnership between private companies, civil society, as Koso mentioned, and also the local community. So that is the one that we planned.
Yeah, for our country, Facebook is the most popular social media platform for our public. But on the other hand, the illegal wildlife trade always find a way to sell to sell the product, the wildlife. If it wasn't on Facebook, there will be other online or other offline market facilitating sales, and the problem lies not with the median, we believe, but with our behavior. If there is no demand, the trade will not increase. That our thoughts on that. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's what Koso mentioned. Like the Facebook is a most the social popular social media platform in the country, but actually not only with the Facebook. The people already trade in wildlife in various ways. Its main demand exists in the country. So trade will continue. Even when we all become aware that consequence, take action to change and the behavior and stop accepting that this trade. So it's mean not only the Facebook, the demand is major for the wildlife trade in the country. That's mean not only in the Myanmar case, that is also in the other developing country case. Thank you.
Conservation groups in Myanmar and all over the world, including WWF, have the collaboration with Facebook and other social media and other e-commerce companies to curtail the online trade through the coalition of End Wildlife Trafficking Online. With this collaboration has resulted in the removal of thousands of trading groups on Facebook. But however, the researcher in Myanmar noted that the previously removed account re-emerged in newly created group during 2021. So the rather than we look into other to do more, we all need to ask ourselves and our friends and family what more we can do personally. We all need to change our behavior and the demand for the wildlife and wildlife products that drive the trade and the removal of the species from their habitats.
Thank you. Actually, that is a very delightful question I want to raise. Actually, the wildlife population, wildlife protection cannot be do alone. So in this case, I'm more proudly raising the awareness in this time. That is a big challenge or issue in the country. And also in my hobby, I'm one of the adjunct professor in the university, trains some the wildlife specialists. It become a more wildlife protection in the country. I mean, that is not only for the country specific. We need more people in conservation. We need more people in wildlife conservation. So yeah, a broader achievement and sharing my knowledge, which is mainly focused on the wildlife conservation.
We have some research there. In last decade, Southeast Asia has been at the center of global attention regarding emerging the infection diseases after SARS and strain of bird flu and look at appearance of deadly viruses such as Nipah virus and also recurring emerge of new influenza H1N1 virus. And in a report by WWF Germany, name is Pandora's Box. So in this report show that the Southeast Asia has a human zoonotic diseases risk because where the wildlife market is located. This report was published on this report published in August 2020. And also the Southeast Asia was identified as a potential emerging zoonotic hotspot due to the following factors: high mammals and bird diversity, and high deforestation rate, and also the population growth, growing demand for animal proteins, and most importantly, where existence of wildlife consumption and trade overlap.
Also, just give you some examples of the region, some of the emergence of zoonotic disease in this region, right? The other thing is what Koso mentioned is we have all these factors actually, so you have a potential of this happening. And all these factors are the ones that will make it happen. Not just Myanmar, I would very honest in saying, this is also quite similar in other countries like Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Just add in some technical high mammals. That's if in the wildlife there's several families and class like a mammal species, avifauna, bird species, reptiles and amphibian species, aquatic species. So that is a slightly different between the species to species. And here we have more diverse in the mammal species, no doubt that one, than the other wildlife species. So that is one of the factor related to the zoonosis. So people like if they eating the insects, that is a not much serious like a mammal species. That is a much different between the species to species and also the diversity numbers of the species. Actually, not only for the Myanmar-Indian border, that's tiger inside the whole country. Yeah. Yeah, that's what tiger population increase. I agree on this one. But we in this case we can classify the two different. That is a low density country and high density country. Like India, Russia, and any other, like Thailand, they have the high density country. But like Myanmar and Indonesia, Malaysia, that's a low density country. If compared to the India and if compared to the other country. So yeah, the tiger conservation team trying a lot. We have to become a double tiger in the near future, but that is a slightly different between the low density country and high density country. So we are still struggling for the tiger density inside Myanmar. So it's mean population in the conclusion population increase, but not for Myanmar so far. We are still trying to protect the heartland or the breeding ground of the tiger inside the country. This is a very good question. Normally, we didn't mention the location of the tiger, but I can answer.
The rock region, the rock state.
In the northern part of the Myanmar and southern part of Myanmar. So in northern part, we call the Upper Chandran landscape, which is the that's we call the Upper Chandran landscape, and also southern is the Dona Tanensaram landscape.
I think it is a misconception to think that the problem of illegal wildlife trade comes from the rural people. Often the demand for live animals, their pets and products came from urban centers. Yeah, keeping wild animals as pets is incorrectly perceived by some to be an act kindness. And for the many regions, a human home is not the right place to home for a wild animal. And also during the transporting the wildlife is not just a cruel, also increase the possibility of zoonotic disease transmission by putting all of the animal in a place and also together with the other species and people. And as a WildAid states, when the buying stop, the killing can too. So this is also why in the price we pay campaign, campaign video, we add all Myanmar people in one place. I mean, in this video, we put the different age group and genders and also social economic status as a buyer. So meaning is that it's related not only to the urban area people, also for the rural area people. It's a problem for us. It's related with all of us, and and also this is the responsibility to take care of our wildlife, our heritage, and this is our health, lie with each of us.
And if I could add, obviously
Yes.
one campaign is not enough. There will be more work to be done, and we cannot just rely on just one campaign, one video to do the work. But every little work that we do will help us get closer towards the goal of one day eliminating the trade. So if you ask us really honestly, is this sufficient? No, but it's not the end of the activity that we'll be doing. There will be more campaigns, either by us or other organizations, all very passionate, trying our best to do what we can for the wildlife.
Thank you. Actually, that's plan I would like to highlight, which is the project or job related. This year is a Years of Tiger, that is in the Chinese Lunar New Year, and also we have that there is a plan to raise awareness of the urgent need to protect the Myanmar dwelling tiger population, which is already mentioned in the previous question, and we are also working to empower Myanmar youth to speak up with the nature on the national, regional, and global platforms. There's still so much left to protect, so much to do, and we are more committed than ever to continue work in Myanmar. We believe our work in Myanmar is key to achieving the global conservation and also the climate effects. So that is my plan in future. That is another how to call it wildlife protection challenge. That is conservation of tiger it cannot do within the short period. That's mean not only for the tiger and any other wildlife species. So that's maybe the more longer protection, like a tiger recovery inside the country. So there's a several technically methods to recover the tiger inside. That's a several methods and approach. So I can say that is not a short period project and have to make a more continuously consecutive protection of the species. That is another tricky question for the wildlife conservation people. We use camera trapping, which is mainly identifying the stripe pattern of the tiger body parts. So based on the 2018, both in the northern and southern landscape, minimum detection is only 28 or 29. That is a minimum. Can be more than this. There's a lot of unsurveyed area for the tiger. So more than the 28, that is a minimum detection. Find the camera trap, identifying the tiger body stripe pattern. That's very difficult to estimate because there's some area we didn't know about the detailed information. Some area we can say based on the ecology of the tiger, but some area, let's say like an unsurveyed area. So they're very difficult to estimate 50 or 55. Yeah.
It's also hard to say because just to add, if you ask different organizations, different people, different experts, they all will have different things to say. And sometimes this kind of thing become a controversy, you see, to put a number. We do know the whole cycle, right? From the source to the buyer and things like that. So there are a lot of different partners, different players within the cycle, and we are actually looking to work with each and every one of them. But obviously, all this take time, right? And also, especially given the condition of our country right now, it's even harder to do that. But we are trying, right? For example, you did mention like some of it being like FB, Facebook, right? We have our coalition, we did that. We are also partnering with MRTI, Responsible Tourism, so that as well. So we are looking at partners, slowly building it all up. But again, all these things, still go back to end of the day, the consumer, right? You can tackle all these things, but if the consumer still demand for this, it will find another way. So that's why we need consumer to change their behavior, the consumer to say, no, we don't want to buy this anymore. So then there is no demand for it, then the supply will stop, actually. Myanmar people, I think in Myanmar, we are very creative, I think. You stop something, they will find another way to do something else. Doing that, yes, we are definitely tackling all that, but that's why we are doing this campaign specifically targeted to the audience, to everybody, to the public, asking them, to understand this issue and also to say no to it. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, the one you mentioned, like the people, the rural people, if they see the tiger, then they kill it. Yeah, that is a really challenging in the developing country wildlife conservation issues. That's not only the Myanmar issue. But in this case, for this video, we rural to urban. There's a lot someone as a result of COVID that's easy can relate to the consequence of the pandemic despite in the video. So this is not the rural only problem with the demand often driven by wealthy urban citizens. So we start creating awareness issue that's in the wildlife related, like since 2017 with the Voices for Momo, which is in Yangon, and also Voices for Wildlife campaign. So we will continue to do more for the awareness. We believe together possible. We will continue to more, but also with program and partnership between private companies, civil society, local community. We cannot do alone. So together possible is our belief for the stop the wildlife and also no more pandemics. Thank you.